have they ever wondered what it would feel like to have an endless supply of leads? Ones that don't dicker over prices, and are there and almost a dream state. That's what I would like to set the stage at, and we're going to show you exactly how it's done. So I'd like to get started. So today we have, our agenda and promise. We're going to show 3 winning case studies that have been proven to follow what I just laid out, and discover how to find the money in your niche, because I think it would be safe to say, when I looked at the demographics of the people that are in your group, they're in a variety of categories: doctors, lawyers, business owners, consultants. It covers the gamut: service business, online businesses. So how do you make money in your niche? And there are lots of niches that have money to be mined. 3 money-making magnets. We're going to show how you can utilize that today. And how to follow the proven success plan that was laid out to me by Susie Black, and that's why I'm the spokesperson, because I followed her program that she laid out and was able to profit from it, and that's why I'm here today to share that. And how anyone can take your call. This is the big promise of getting anybody, virtually anybody, on a call when you make it to them, when you are able to show them what you have to offer is so outrageous and so different than the calls that they would get. So you go from becoming a pest to a welcome guest. And I'm going to use that expression again in our presentation today. And I have a special gift to you. For everybody that stays on the webinar until we get to the end, I feel that an ethical bribe is in order. So what am I going to give you? My upcoming book that's going to be on Amazon. I've held off from releasing this until we had this call with you. And they're going to get first crack at this, the Business Owner's Guide to Clients Forever. And this is going to be $25 on Amazon. I'm going to give this to everybody that stays on the call for its entirety. So that is the reward. So does this sound fair so far? And why should you listen to me? And you went over my background, and I've been a published author. I have been a radio show host, a syndicated radio show host in Los Angeles, and I've had quite a bit of experience in all sorts of media. Now, that either makes me experienced or old or both. I'm not sure. So I like to start with proof. And on the left here, in November of last year, I was interviewed by CNBC in Karachi, Pakistan. Quite an experience for an American to go to Pakistan and be interviewed on CNBC. And it was, they're a country of 180 million people, and it was quite the experience. So that, again, that's the proof that I have been on television, on the news there in November, after going through and speaking in 5 different venues. On the right is a picture from about 7 years ago when I had my radio show in Los Angeles on 97.1, which is under the CBS umbrella. And right here is a copy of my book that was published in 2009 by John Wiley and Sons. And here in 1996 is a picture of me pitching a product on Home Shopping Network, where I had an average of about 5 million viewers at any given time on live television. And that was a great experience, learning the value of media super duper well. So I want to go through where we are today. We're in a fast changing world. The old is not working like it used to work. The way people consume information has changed dramatically, and we're going to show that proof. And getting trusted followers, clients, and customers is much more difficult. It's challenging today. And because of the proliferation of media that's out there, radio, print newspapers, magazines are disappearing and going bankrupt very, very quickly. And television is extremely expensive. Why? Because they make their money off advertising, and TiVo, you can fast forward and get past all this advertising super fast. So there's got to be a way to make money and advertising reach people. And here's what's possible. With what we're going to show today, and the methods that were laid out to me by Susie that I have followed and others have followed, you're going to be able to get anyone's attention with what we're going to show. And how to become, and I love to use this expression, being treated like a welcome guest versus an annoying pest and discover the perfect people you want to take you where you want to go. And when you're successful with what you're doing, what we're going to show, media will find you. Isn't that great? Instead of having to hire a publicist to go and pay big dollars, they're going to find you based on the success if you follow the plan. And the other beauty is we're in a multinational, we're in a world economy today, and you can build an international reputation. There's no need of just doing business in your home country. You can do it all over the world like I've done and others have done following a system. And again, the endless leads and no hassle clients who never refund. Is that great or what? Does this sound good so far? I mean, I certainly hope so. Now let's look at Steve Jobs, Bill Gates. Everyone would agree. Are you there, Kathy? Everyone would agree that they have been innovators.
Yeah, I'm here, Mitch.
Yeah, I mean, we're just looking at, I mean, these are two, would you agree that these are two of the best innovators of our time in that they saw the future way before the rest of us did, and that's why they've got such big grins. And all we're going to do is replicate what they did. And look at this rocket man here. You know, it's sort of the futurists. They're wondering what's going on. Well, look at Steve Jobs. He's the picture on the right. We've got Moses on the left. And Moses is telling Steve, tablets, tablets, tablets. So what did Steve do? He followed that. And then all magazine readers are now going digital. They're reading on tablets, iPhones, Droids, these mobile devices. And if they don't, they're going to go out of business. And this was a happy, of the late Steve Jobs, a happy face when he announced the iPad in 2010. And I'm going to share with you the overnight success story that I had when I launched this magazine, Animal Sanctuary Magazine, which is on the iTunes store. Look at this graphic that just grips you, as it has gripped all the downloads and subscribers that I have today of this magazine that is now viewed on iPhones, iPads, Droid devices. And this is showing what happened in the first 3 days on iTunes. You see these bars, huge spike, and my success. So just between when this hit the market on March 29 of this year through April 14, we had on iTunes alone over 10,000 downloads and subscribers. 10,000. This is huge. I mean, and all done on the iTunes platform. In 7 weeks, we had over 17,000 downloads. Gigantic success. Now, we just shot this, took a screenshot yesterday, so we would be current to show people the steady increase. I mean, it started off with a huge curve, and now it's still growing at an enormous rate, and I'm going to show you the results in a minute, but 23,000. Now, this also doesn't include Google Play, which is the other library of magazines. And here's a shot of iTunes, where in the new apps, it's #1 in the category. In what's hot, it's included in that category. In the iPhone apps free edition, it was #1, still is #1, and under free apps, it is #1 under these several categories, all because I followed the system that Susie laid out. I mean, can you see yourself with this kind of result and doing this? Is what you have to ask yourself. So I ask, in order to become the #1 person and be recognized immediately, what is your plan? What is your course? What are you setting for yourself? Because regardless of the industry or niche that you're in, you need to lay out a plan to figure out how to become the toll booth operator, the authority, the respected person in your niche, because that's where the money is. Are you the center of influence? There's Oprah Winfrey, which has a huge international audience, and then, of course, the late Steve Jobs again. These are huge icons because they took risks, they moved forward, and they were innovators. They were leaders in their category. So you have to ask yourself, in order to find what your passion is, I mean, what makes you dance? It's all about finding what you're passionate about in your industry and sharing it so you create people, your customers, your clients, that become part of your community. They then are your tribe. They follow you. They'll paint their hands. And the other thing is, magazine readers love controversy. And because of people being passionate, religious groups, different political groups are very passionate about their particular following. So I'm going to ask people to plant your flag, take a risk, stand for something, stand out. And this is a good course of action to take in any of your marketing. And I know you've created your stand, Kathy, and many of your followers have. People that subscribe to the Business Cafe do this. And I have to applaud those that do stand out and do something different. There are entrepreneurs out there, and you've already taken that big step, and it feels great. And today we have all these new technologies that have given people the power to tune out message and marketing. I mean, when I started out watching television in the 60s, it was black and white. I think color came in shortly thereafter. It was the RCA Victor, and you turned the channels manually. And there were a limited number of channels. You know, and I grew up in Los Angeles, and I remember on TV, you know, the Indian came on after a certain amount of time. So, you know, when it came to 11 o'clock, there was no television, so there was limited amount of information. Today, we have a huge amount of information. And with what we're going to show you today, you can tune in and have your followers just listen and follow what you're sharing with them. Return on investment is always a factor. How do I make money? And it should be a factor because these are business people. It's like if you put money in, if you put $1 in, you should get at least 3 in return. I mean, this looks a little larger. These are $10,000 bundles. So if you put, let's say, 100 grand in, you want to have at least 300,000 on a return. That's a solid investment minimum. And we're going to show you how to do that. And how do you make money from this? Again, we're going to show perfect examples living in the world of proof for everybody to follow. So what is the value of being the #1 authority in your market? It's priceless, because that means people don't negotiate with you if you're the low-cost leader, but if you are the authority, people love to deal with the authority. So you can charge higher margins and become the celebrated leader. And listen to your market. Very important to do that. So can you do this? Can you see yourself doing this? Creating the center of influence in your category and your niche? I have to ask you that. So why was I successful with the launch of Animal Sanctuary magazine? Because I personally have a passion for wild animals, exotic animals, and here I am in Thailand at a tiger king. It was called Tiger Kingdom, which is a sanctuary for tigers in Thailand. We were able to interact with them on a limited basis, with those that are somewhat tame, and this was a 600-pound tiger, you know, in a pool of water. And if you can see the emotion on my face, there was a little bit of fear, because all it would take is one whack. But it's my passion to interact with these different animals, and I've interacted with different types of snakes, elephants, and this is my passion to show all these beautiful animals through my magazine. And I was able to do this and profit from it. So what were the steps that I took in order to create this kind of success? #1, and this is important with any kind of marketing online, using the right keywords. Using the right keywords. Everything is built around using the right keywords, knowing what's ranking properly. So with the Animal Sanctuary magazine title, I'm ranking first in that category out of 1.5 million total searches of that keyword phrase. And then the first step that I went through was finding out how many global searches were related to that and the competition. And this was used with the Google AdWords tool, which made it very simple. And I used commercially viable key phrases. So the first screen was, are there enough searches? And the second was, can I make money with this? So I used a tool called SE Cockpit, which I think you are familiar with. And I then was able to confirm that there was money. So you see right there for $1.29 cost per click under animal cruelty, and there were all sorts of different keyword phrases that related that I could then assign a value to and insert related ads, affiliates that could be inside of the magazine where I could make money and truly monetize from this magazine, my passion, my expertise. So I went into an obscure niche. I want to show how easy it is, and you may think of an interesting category of people that are coaches. This was picked just to show that there is money, there's gold to be found in just about every category. You just do a little bit of digging and research. So what did we find? I just did this because as a child, I suffered from ADD. I was a hyperactive kid, and then of course ADD came up later. And I did a little search for this to find out, what was going on. Well, there were a lot of searches. You see 319 million with that related phrase in there. So that showed the volume that I needed. Then I found that there was a gold mine as it related to cost per click. There were also, there were an abundant number of monthly searches, and the cost per click for this was $4.74. And another ADD symptoms was $5.18. So it showed me, just as using an example of simple life coaches, there was potential in this niche. And think of the advertising potential when you have a cost per click of ranging from $1 to $4, and some of the ones that are in higher categories I've seen in business consulting, those get up to $10, $20, $30 I've seen in cost per click. So you have to think of the advertising potential of what you would sell a digital page for. Now, in my magazine, Animal Sanctuary, since I'm over 20,000 subscribers at this point, more than 25,000 to be exact, I'm soliciting bids from different categories, pet food products, pet suppliers, animal parks at $3,000 per page. Now, what's my cost of that page? Zilcho, because it's digital. That's the beauty of a digital publication today. So what does this add up? I'm just going to show you the math of $2,000 per page, and I even went lower, and you can sell unlimited pages because it's digital. That's what makes this so attractive. And you can use affiliate deals and sell your own products inside your publication, because why? You're the publisher. And the money just stacks up. So here's a recent magazine that is a new magazine that's coming out with a fellow named Alex Mendozian. He's a well-known coach, business consultant, teacher to online people. And he wanted something different as opposed to a millionaire mentor. He wanted the billionaire mentor. He's coached personally and consulted with over 100 people that he has turned into millionaires. So he wanted to set a higher mark for himself. So this is the cover of his new magazine that's coming out in iTunes this month. Here's another magazine, Lifestyle Entrepreneur, which is covered by another one of our magazine clients that is using this, Glenn Dietzel. And then we have Ryan Zimmerman from JV Zoo, which is a huge affiliate network. His whole market is dealing with working from home and how to address that niche. We worked on finding the right searches, and people are interested in working from home. So this is the cover of his magazine coming out. Vegas, this is another niche. If somebody is passionate about an insider's guide to Vegas, there are ads that can go inside this. So this shows different examples of magazine covers that you can use. Even inside the niche of finding a wholesaler, gifts, candles, clothes, shoes, housewares, furniture, there are all sorts of niches. And I love the expression, there are riches in niches. And the third element that's super important that made Animal Sanctuary so successful was we selected an eye-catching image. This is something that Susie helped and crafted on my first issue, which attributed to a lot of our success, we believe. That picture is worth 1,000 words. It draws you in. I think you mentioned that as well, didn't you, Kathy, when you saw this? And great images versus not so great. You can see the image on the left.
You've had me reaching for my unmute button.
Unmute button?
Unmute button. One of the things that I think I made mention to you about this particular image is the eye.
The tiger.
Yeah, the tiger, but his eyes, you're right, they really draw you in.
And that's something that's powerful. I mean, we use the metaphor of the eye of the tiger, and there's a reason for it. It's so intense. I mean, you look at it and you do get drawn in. And that's what's important to recognize, the power of images. I mean, hence Pinterest has been a huge success because of its images. People love to look at pictures and videos. And we're going to show you how you can add videos into your magazine today, and it's a multimedia platform. So a little that's important is a great image versus not so great. The image on the left is important because it's isolated, focused, and you see one aspect of the image. The one on the right, you kind of get lost. It looks like a bunch of fancy cars. You don't know what to look at. There's no main focus point. And these two different snakes, it's like an ick factor for a lot of people because they don't like snakes. But what catches your eye? The one on the left or the right? The one on the left, because we tested this. The focus is perfectly on the subject. On the left, example here of Times Square in New York City, a beautiful, perfect vertical cover, because we do look at portrait style images for magazine covers. And people are trained that way from the offline world, and we implement that and consume information that way. We're trained. So we want to make sure that we keep our vertical images intact and it's very focused. And the correct use of colors. Look at the one on the left. The one on the right is beautiful, but completely outclassed by the use of colors. And it's very important to pick the right graphics in any of your marketing. Now I want to show how you can make money in small markets. The Animal Sanctuary magazine is global. That's around the world where we have subscribers. And Susie has this magazine that she created in Brisbane. And so small markets can equal big profits. She sold advertising, I think they were just quarter-page ads, as opposed to full-page ads, quarter-page ads, for a lot of money for something that only had 342 downloads. But she did this in a very short period of time to prove how easy this was and how, you got to get in on this. I mean, how money is made in these small niches, 342 in just a week. Now, let me show you the money that was made with this. And again, it's all about the world of proof. In my world, it's all proof-based, with 4 advertisers taking quarter-page ads just to test this. This was after a week. She made a whopping $1,980. That isn't bad as an additional income from a local magazine, all done within a week's period of time. Does this sound good so far? Is this making sense? I hope so. So, I just have to ask, what's your move? Is your thinking right side up? Is your strategy intact with a clear plan in place in order to become the #1 person in your niche? How many of you deserve to be #1 in your niche? Would you like to be recognized immediately? This is the most efficient, fastest, most credible way I have found in my years of marketing. and I have been in all areas. This happened so quickly, and with people vying to get in to write content in my publication. So what were the exact steps that were used? You know, it may look like a long walk, but it's really simple. You do what Steve says. Steve Jobs said everything is going to be moving to tablets before he left us. And based on the sales that we're experiencing, tablet sales are growing at 40% per quarter. 40% per quarter. PCs are still there, but they are going away. People, I mean, you look at any coffee shop all over the world. I've traveled throughout Asia, throughout Europe. People are not using their PCs like they used to. They're using their phones, their tablets. So get on board. I mean, are you still playing it safe? You know, this was in a crocodile sanctuary I was operating in. I took a risk. Are you willing to take a risk and do something that is unique? And I made a promise of how do you guarantee a call with anyone? I showed, you know, Leclerc and Nelson Mandela, the former presidents, respectively, of South Africa. And how do you guarantee a call with anyone? I want to put you on the cover of my magazine. Is that huge or is that huge? Who wouldn't take your call? Well, I'm going to give you a couple ideas of people that would showcase on your magazine. Use formerly famous. You got Donald Trump on the left. He loves the spotlight. These two former presidents of ours, you know, George Bush and Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, I spoke on a stage with him in London. I wasn't able to meet him, but I got to tell you, he still loves the limelight. And we've got Clint Eastwood and Michael Jordan. They were in the press, in the news, very, very heavily throughout their careers. I believe if you made a call to their office and it was an ethical magazine that you're putting out, either one of these gentlemen would love to be on the cover. And even if you offered them some type of an incentive to give a certain amount of proceeds to one of their charities of choice, why wouldn't they do it? They have an ego. You know, so the question is, how do I create content? This may be something that people worry about. Well, I had that issue as well, and I felt like it was a monkey on my back because I do some writing, but the idea of putting together about 10 articles, this is in a monkey sanctuary in Bali that I attended, and there's a little monkey picking away at me. So I felt like it was a monkey on my back, and what did I do? I figured out, okay, all I have to do is become the publisher. I don't have to write all the content. I just become the publisher. And, you know, then how do I get an easy cover story? Well, there's a man on the left named Mark Victor Hansen. He is south of you, Kathy. You know, I know you're up in Canada. He's down in Orange County, California, and he loves attention. I've shared many stages with him over the years. Mark is a super nice guy. He's there with Art Linkletter, and he co-authored the books, the series, I mean, the brand of Chicken Soup for the Soul. His office, if you called and said, I'd like to put you on the cover of my magazine, it's a shoo-in. I mean, as long as it's ethical and moral and within his guidelines, he would do it. And these two gentlemen, one on the left, Brian Tracy, is in San Diego, California. He's a Canadian living in Southern California. And Jack Canfield, who's the other author for the Chicken Soup, the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. Jack lives up in Santa Barbara, California. Both are available. They have been icons in their industries for years and have been coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs, and are always eager. This is what I found about these two, and that's why I chose them, because I met them both, and they are interested in helping people and helping business owners grow, consultants grow, entrepreneurs grow so they can take their business to the next level. And if you called their office and said, I'd like to put you, Mr. Tracy, on the cover of my magazine, and then if you were able to get his content every month, which would be a trade-off, you'd want that. So one of your writers is in there giving outstanding content, deep, credible content for your publication. And the same with Jack Canfield. So the other source for my first issue, here's the little secret that I used in order to get free content. I used e-zine articles. A few of the articles were written by me, and the balance I used and gave credit to people in my category from e-zine articles. This is one source. There's another that I'll share called Go Articles and e-zine articles. So we used 7 articles in the first publication, which had quite a few downloads, as I showed earlier, and subscribers. And they read the articles because it was good content, which I reviewed. And I was able to put this magazine together, the first edition, in less than 10 hours of my time, because I followed the system laid out by Susie. You're going to meet Susie in just a few moments. And the other beauty of a digital magazine, your publication, is you can hyperlink inside this. You can't do that in a print publication. How great is that? I mean, you can put a podcast in here and a YouTube video. YouTube. You now have a multimedia presentation inside your authority piece, your magazine. Why is this important? Today, people consume information their way. In the past, magazines were only available in print. What we have found that people consume information, they learn their own way, and that's why video has taken off. YouTube has been a sensation and growing rapidly and increasing exponentially every day. Why? Because people like to watch things. They don't necessarily want to read. And if you can dispense your information, your expertise in video or in a podcast, you can do that. If you've got a great voice and don't necessarily like to be in front of a camera, you can have a whole multimedia magazine, have some written content, have some audio content, have some video content, all included, so people consume their way. Does this make sense? I mean, is this what... There are people on this call that like to listen to and from work in their car. Books on tape have taken off. Now you can do this with magazines. That's what's available today through the beauty of iTunes and Google Play. And we want this result. Here's Oprah. You want to be the centerpiece, the authority, and you want to be recognized to be the leader in your niche. Can you see how easy this is now? All you have to do is follow the system that's laid out in front of you. I mean, can you see yourself doing this? You got to ask yourself that. And I had to ask myself this, and I was a little intimidated at first, but all I did was follow the system that Susie laid out. So the beauty is you can have an amazing and duplicatable result like I had. One in the category here. I was number 2 in the What's Hot, number 1 in the all iPad free apps, and all free apps in the whole category, number 1. You can do that too in your category following the system. So I got to ask you, are you in front of the wave in your life, in your business? Do you want to be doing and following what Steve Jobs laid out and said, get on tablets, do this? Or is this you? Are you the guy or the gal with the camera watching? Do you want to be in front of the camera, being the one that's recognized, or you just want to be watching somebody else take your spot? Do you want to be the number 1 person in your spot, which is here in front, or here just watching the world go by and someone else taking the money that could be yours? Do you deserve to be rich? So it's simple as 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to lay it out for you. It's about finding a magazine title and a popular search phrase. Second, you verify the commercial value. Is somebody paying money for that category, those keywords that it's related to? Very important. I would have never launched this magazine unless I could confirm that people were paying, so I could then monetize and earn a respectable income at the same time as becoming the authority in my category. And selecting amazing images. All 3 of these elements led to my success. So I look at it, I liken it to the stool that you sit on. Absent one of those legs, you're going to be pretty wobbly and have to balance pretty well. All three, you've got a sturdy position, and you can launch yourself to success in your category. And you have to have a little bit flexible thinking. This was me a few years ago demonstrating a stretching product, and I had to flex quite a bit. This is how I like to operate my life today, and I would invite you to possess this thinking as well. Is it easy? Is it profitable? And is it fun? Does it fit within your profile of passion? Is it easy? Is it profitable? And is it fun for you? That's how I live my life, and I would invite you to look at your life that way. So what have we got available for you? Is the Magazine Training Academy. Let me tell you what's in it so you can take a look at it, see if it fits for you. Inside, we have an A to Z magazine publishing training program. So that goes step by step. In section 1, how to create modules. There are 20 step-by-step videos in this system. Then section 2, the publishing components. There's the creation, then the publishing. Section 3, how do you market all of what you've put together in steps 1 and 2? You follow the system just like Susie laid out for me, and I did this and became successful, and you can too. And you have access to the simple publishing system. Easy to use templates. You are able to follow, plug and play what has worked out previously. You're able to do that too. And a step-by-step worksheet to plan your magazine. I mean, here's the confession. I went through this before all the modules were perfectly refined. I followed her worksheet. I ticked the boxes, followed what she laid out in rough, and created the success. Since then, she has refined it. It's been tested in 4 different countries. We've tested students in Pakistan, in the Philippines, the US, Canada. So everybody is able to follow the laid out system. This has a value of just under $5,000. And in the magazine template library, there's an ever-growing library of magazine templates. We showed you a few that have been added. So all you have to do is copy and paste. You see how you can do this? It's just copy and paste, and you replicate the success. It's the yellow brick road that you walk down where people have gone before, and you create the same success. It's all copy-paste. Sample legal contracts. Now this is huge. If you have dealt with lawyers in the United States or Canada or Australia, they can be expensive. To create a legal contract to deal with advertisers and contributors, and you need to cover yourself legally in this litigious environment, it's all included. This is inside the complete system. So you get to get up and running in minutes. And this has a value of at least $3,000. Just dealing with a lawyer to write contracts to deal with advertisers and contributors could exceed that, depending on what state you're in. I mean, California would be more than that. Maybe it'd be less than Wichita, I don't know. But it's all there, meaning it's just plug and play. You pull what we have used before and simply get up and running in minutes. Magazine creation simplified. You simply supply the graphics, and we'll complete the app design for you. This is a bonus for your group, so we want to make sure that they get up very quickly out there. Your app uploaded to the App Store. This saves time and major hassle. If Susie hadn't helped me, I don't know what I would have done. This is just meandering the Apple Store on your own can be a challenge unless you're in the developer business or used to it. And she does it for you, which is what I like. This has a $2,500 value. The Magazine Training Academy Toolbox. Our complete toolbox to make your magazine a success. Everything in there. It is deep. Content curation resources guide. Now I talked about easy articles and go articles, but there are over 50 different curation sources inside the training system which you can utilize and access. And if you have a high-end magazine, you may want to look at something other than easy articles or go articles that I mentioned. This has a value of $197, all laid out for you. You just hyperlink on the one that you want to go to. In the magazine resource list, there's an amazing hot resource list for all the elements, where to find writers, where to find graphics, free graphics, which is huge. All the graphics that I used in my Animal Sanctuary magazine, you know how much I paid for that? Zilcho, zero, nada, nothing, free. You don't have to pay. Magazine making cheat sheet. This is what I followed to create the magazine. This has a value of $497. You'll pay more than that just with art files. If you have to pay for art that's usable, we're going to give you sources that are free. And I have not paid a penny in any of the publications. Here's what's so great about having a mastermind and the Magazine Makers Forum. It's for members only. You get to ask all of your questions if you have any. You get to post about your magazine and your skills because you can interact with others, because some of you may be writers on the side, may want to write, and you get to post all the requests you're looking for. And here's what I like about a forum. You get to cross-promote your business, meaning if you're in a non-competing category, even competing category, you might find synergies between another niche in your category where you can write for each other's publication and grow your viewers in each of those. That is fantastic. This has a value of $997. Now, the advertiser grabber, this is what I used in order to create the bidding process for all the advertisers that I'm adding into the magazine now. I wanted to get to over 20,000 subscribers, which I was able to achieve. And that's where I'm coming up with improving the $3,000 per page. The proven swipe copy to contact advertisers, and it's the exact process we use to get advertisers jump into advertising magazines. When you show them the proof, what you've got, a professional magazine. And you get all the resources and templates so you can duplicate our results. I like to follow the easy method, the one that's laid out 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, done before, just like other successful people have done. And that's what Susie gave me with her experience, and I followed it. This has a value of $1,997. In addition, you have 8 weeks of premium coaching with Susie on the line, answering questions, open Q&A, hand-holding you to ensure your success. We're after testimonials. We want to see people successful, as you do, Kathy. And that's a value of $2,997 for 8 weeks of coaching. These are hour-long calls, maybe longer if the questions are relevant, and continue to open up possibilities and answer questions for people in the group. The Magazine Profit Machine, Magazine Training Academy, has a value of $4,997. The magazine template is $2,997. App Tech Components, creating the app and uploading it, $2,497. The total toolbox list, $197. The Academy's magazine resource list, $497. The Magazine Makers Forum, which I love, is $997 value. The Advertiser Grabber, so you can have this plug and play, easy to use, is right there. 8 weeks of premium coaching with Susie directly. This has a total value of $17,176 if you were to buy these components and gain these resources on your own, but it's all there. And of course, you're not going to pay that. Now, the whole program, not everybody can join. We need an application from you because we want to confirm that your category, your niche, is relevant for you. So once accepted, the full program amount is $1,997. So let me show you what's inside the members area.
So we wanted to just show you the members area of the training program. So what you see on this page is the 3 main sections, and then if I pop into one of the sections, you're going to see that all the tutorials are broken down into individual lessons. So each of the lessons you can click on, and inside the lesson you're going to find a blurb at the top of the page telling you what is going to be included in the video that you're going to watch. A copy of the video here, which you can play at any time, a link to listen to the MP3 or download the MP3 if you prefer to just listen and not watch a video, a link to download the handout for the course, and a link to view the transcript of the video. At the bottom, you'll also see a link to download any relevant worksheets for the module that you're completing. So here you'll see a copy of one of the handouts which shows you the slides that we will cover in the presentation and also gives you an area where you can take some notes. Next you'll see a copy of an audio transcript which you can read if you prefer to read. And lastly, here is one of our typical worksheets that go with the modules for the magazine. So this is how each of the individual training modules will look. In addition to the training modules, there is the resources area. And under the resources area, you're going to find links to templates, to the magazine creation toolkit, and also the worksheets for modules. So if we pop into the templates area, you'll see that there are a variety of different magazine templates, and these are added to over time. And certainly if you have any specific request for a type of template you would like to see included, you can submit that to our support staff and we can aim to have that kind of template created for you. Below that you'll find links to a suite of image size placeholders, design backgrounds, and sizes for YouTube videos to embed within your magazines. In addition to that, there are some marketing components, which are a media kit sample and a rate card sample, and also a link to all the legal contracts that you would require for your magazine. On top of that, you are also going to be able to have access to the members forum, where you can discuss with other people what you're doing with your magazine and whether you want to collaborate on any ideas. You've got access to our support system as well, where our support staff can answer your questions in relation to creating your magazine.
So here we are. We're only accepting an application. No money will be charged in the system. And the other bonus that we want to throw in here, you get an $800 value virtual assistant made available to you for 1 free week. So 40 hours of free VA time. If you have any challenges, want to find writers, this is included with the system. And the other thing that I'm going to add in, Kathy, is I would invite you in on the call at this point, is a professional interview that I'm going to do with the first 6 that sign up. First 6, we've got to have it limited because this takes a lot of time on my part, and it's a professionally done interview where you can then insert that in your magazine. You can put it on your website. And one of the things that I am going to do is take that interview, that audio interview, and place it on my website and on my fan page. Is that great? And the Magazine Training Academy is going to have a live event. And we invite you to attend this. And we're going to have this at some point later in this year where it has a $2,000 value, and you would be able to attend our next training for 2 days. And we're also, Susie's going to design your personal app icon and splash screen exactly for you. So, and upload it. This has a $647 value. So all you have to do is create your own cash cow. And can you see how this would be a financial solution for you to make income? If you have 3 paid advertisers taking full page ads at $2 grand a pop, that's $6,000 a month in income. It's totally feasible. We've shown you, and that's a low number. If you have a higher search category, you can have as many pages as you want in there. So what is in here? This whole Magazine Academy profit machine has a total value of over $20,967. And all we're asking you, there's no money today, is to fill out the form. You click on the link, under jvgenius.com/Kathy and apply. Fill out the form, apply, and then you will be on your way. And we'll go through and tell you whether this is a profitable niche for you. We'll help you define the niche that is profitable for you.
Are you still there, Mitch?
Are there any questions?
Mitch, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I think you might have your computer speakers off. Can you turn them down? Because I can hear myself echoing.
Sure.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, I can still hear a bit of an echo there. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead, and for those of you who are still on the call, just please ignore the echo. I'm not too sure where it's coming from. And I just want to make sure that for people who are perhaps just listening in by audio only, the link that Mitch gave out is jvgenius.com/Kathy, and it's Kathy with a C. That is the correct way to spell it. Just kidding. It's not the most common way, that's for sure. So I have a few questions here, Mitch, that have come in, and I have some of my own as well. So what I would like to do is just sort of pepper you with some of those questions. Is that okay?
Absolutely, and I'm going to invite Susie to come in on the call as well, so we can introduce her to the group.
Okay, great. Would you mind just introducing her, and then I'll hop into the questions.
Okay. Please, yeah, I think you introduced her earlier, but go ahead and ask the questions, and we'll go through them.
Okay, so I'm just going to assume she's on the line, and that's right.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there you are, Susie. Yeah, I am getting quite a bit of echo on my phone line, but yeah, we're going to deal with it. So first of all, I would like to ask you, for animal sanctuary, I really love the examples that you give. The questions that I have come in is, you mentioned affiliate deals. You talked about advertising, and you mentioned affiliate deals. Can you explain a little bit more about what you mean by that?
Yes, affiliate deals. So I'm going to be including related products, affiliate deals. For example, if I were to sell introductions to different animal parts that are related to what I'm covering, I would get a commission off them clicking on that link. And anything that is related, if for example, if you had lawyers, I'm going to use an example for relevant because I know you have a fair amount of service people listening in on your call. So it's a law firm, and if they had a court reporting company that wanted to advertise in there, they would make a percentage off a new client that comes in. If someone were to do copying, if you had, the animal magazine, if I were able to sell a certain amount of food that people would click on if I added that, or animal toys, because most of the people that follow the magazine are pet owners themselves, and they buy pet-related products. So those are the affiliates, meaning they make a commission off the products that are sold in there. You can have advertisers in there for free, and then you make a percentage, or you charge them for space. So that's what I mean by affiliate. And I don't know how many people are familiar with ClickBank, and that's one of the resources that we reveal in the training of how to best utilize ClickBank and other sources of affiliate programs. Did that answer your question?
It does. And what I think I hear you saying then is for people who don't necessarily want to go out and start getting advertisers, or they don't feel comfortable with doing that, or perhaps they don't have the amazing download numbers right off the get-go, they can just join some affiliate programs and put their own links in there and start monetizing.
Or their own products.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
or their own products. Yeah, that's where the money is made, is you sell other people's. That's the easiest way to start, is to sell other people's products and or your own products.
Cool. So,
who's to say you can't take a full page? Yeah.
Because you can start monetizing your magazine issue 1.
Issue 1.
Some advertisers might not feel comfortable if you're in pre-launch, especially if you don't have a big name. But you can start monetizing it right away. So I thought that was really cool. I wanted to explore that a bit further. So here's an example too. I loved your examples. You know, this whole riches in niches. Sorry, the feedback is the echoes kind of causing me to hesitate a bit, but that's okay. We're just going to work through the technical stuff. It's really smart and really impressive, the proof that you've given, Mitch. I think that's really fabulous. But here's a question that I've received: how easy is it to get started? Really?
That's a great question, and I want to answer that fully. I was intimidated, and I'm going to be transparent here. Even though I have this extremely deep marketing background in all these media, I'd never produced a magazine, and it scared me a little. And I thought, wow, I've never done this, and I had my own issues of fear of failure because I'd never done it. It was the unknown. And you know, I certainly know other areas, but this was a fear. And all I did was trusted in Susie because she had done it and said it's easy, Mitch. And she said, then the question was, can you see yourself doing this? I said, yes, I'm passionate about my category. She said, just follow my step-by-step system. And I did that. Before I became the spokesperson, I was a client. And I followed her system and was able to implement it. And I said, this is great. I'd love to be your spokesperson. I mean, that's what I do. And I followed the system, and you saw the results. Anybody can, I mean, those are screenshots, real deal. So I followed her system because that's where I have my passion, was this. And, you know, I'm going to go back to your first question. You said, in pre-launch, do you get advertisers? I didn't have advertisers. I used affiliates from ClickBank. And I made money that way, selling other products inside the magazine. And boy, if advertisers knew the kind of numbers I was going to produce, they would have loved to have been in the early stages.
Very, very cool. You know, I just love that it's so easy to get going. You know, one of the things that this is my question. We keep hearing it as people who are doing marketing. The gold is in your list. The gold is in your list. How do you tie this into a list building campaign?
Because subscribers, you know, there's the difference of, you know, push marketing versus pull marketing. These people raise their hand to be part of my tribe because I'm the publisher. And, you know, and here's something else that happened I didn't share in this, you know, there's so much to cover. Since I produced this magazine and was able to create this firestorm and others observed it, I was contacted by other experts in the animal area that have had worldwide exposure. One of the people that is writing in all subsequent issues, because of the success I had, has over 500,000 Facebook fan followers in his pet blog. Over 500,000, and he said, I would love to write for your magazine. Would you like to contribute on my wall? So there's that cross-pollination. Once you create success, success creates more success. People reach out to you. Then I had a fellow that had been a zookeeper in Australia and saved Bana, which was an elephant in Sumatra, Indonesia. And he contacted me after he saw the publication and heard about it. And it had press that I didn't even apply for. He contacted me, and I'd love to write for your magazine. This guy's known throughout the world because of the efforts he's made with animals that were being encroached. And so I have these two big name people that are now contributors. So it's just started this rolling. And with them, they have advertisers that are coming into play that are in their followings. So it snowballs.
So I want to, yeah, I'm off mute. I want to ask some of those are my questions. I want to ask some of the questions that have come in from the webinar, okay? How long are each of the training videos?
Susie can answer that since they are her videos.
So the videos vary in length. Some of them are quite short and some of them are a little bit longer. So 5-10 minutes are the average. Some of them go as long as 20 minutes. So we've actually broken them down into short bite-sized pieces to make them easy for you to follow and easy for you to understand. So yeah, they vary in length, and certainly if there are any questions that you have in relation to the videos once once you've watched them. There is the area that you can also ask any questions, and we can provide further assistance to you.
Great, thank you for that, Susie. I don't know if everyone else can hear the echo, but I can. But we're just talking through it, so because the information is more important than the audio quality. Here's a question: how hard is it to get advertisers?
It's not difficult once you create. I mean, and again, it goes back to issue number one, and you addressed that very well. It's getting affiliates on board, creating that success of subscribers, which we walk you through how to do it, following the system that I had, and then you are able to get advertisers following the step-by-step system that Susie lays out. That's where, you know, in the whole training component, it's a copy-paste system, and we showed that with the Brisbane local magazine. Just a tiny little magazine in Brisbane for the shopping earned in the first 2 weeks $2,000, and it was all done via email. Am I missing something, Susie? Isn't that what you did?
Just to a further point on that, what we did with the Brisbane magazine is revealed within the training system. There's a full process that you can follow, and we actually got a 40% response rate from potential advertisers, and within 48 hours of sending out an initial email, which you'll be able to copy and paste and do exactly the same in your own market, we had that $2,000 within our account before we'd even written a word of our magazine. So the techniques that we use to get advertisers that you can apply will make it very easy.
That is great clarifying information. Thank you very much, Susie. And I did get a comment from someone who says the echo's giving me a bit of a headache. I so apologize for the echo. But if you can manage your way through it, I want to make sure that you get the information. And we are getting quite a few questions in. So let's just keep going, shall we? Now, I have a question here that says, how do apps come into this? So I'm guessing the question is, how does this digital magazine relate to online apps for mobile devices?
Susie?
Yep, so your magazine is actually held within an app itself. So we build the app for you, and then your issues of your magazine are contained within the app. That is the way that magazines are going at the moment. There's an area of the Apple store called Newsstand. It's now standard and has been standard for the last few iPhones and iPads. So people are able to go into Newsstand, find your app, and hold that within their Newsstand, and then read your magazine that way. So the app is the container for your magazine.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. Mitch, I'm going to ask you to try something on your end. That video that you were showing, can you shut it down, close that window?
Okay.
That might help.
The one before?
Whatever you've got open that doesn't have to do with GoToWebinar.
Okay.
So everything except your slides, and I'm just trying to diagnose how to fix that. Oh, we can see your whole screen now. So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where this.
That's okay. If it's not easy, don't worry. I just thought I was just brainstorming what might clear up this echo.
I don't think that would be it, but okay. Yeah.
All right. So let's see what else we've got here. What kind of support is available once I purchase this? Now, I know, Mitch, you covered some of that. Maybe you could just give a real quick summary. And whoever asked that question, if you have something more specifically that you're looking for, just go ahead and type in the Q&A box, and we'll get that. But yeah, what kind of support is available once I buy this?
Well, there's going to be 8 weeks of coaching. There's a Q&A on that. If you have questions, you would just email Susie, and she's going to be able to respond to this very quickly. Isn't that correct? I mean, there's the open Q&A for the 8 weeks of coaching. There's the forum where you can ask questions, and you might be able to find your answer on the forum. If you don't see it asked there, put it up there, and there'll be a response, something that Susie monitors every day.
Okay, good. So
we actually have a team of support staff.
Sorry, Susie, I'm going to get you to repeat that.
Yeah, so we have a team of support staff to help people out if they've got any questions. So they're able to use our ticket system, submit a ticket to us, and we can reply to their questions that way as well as the forum.
Okay, good. Another question here, do you have a contract template for Canada? Now, I'm going to assume this is for the advertisers. So the question is, do you have one for Canada? So Canadians asking that, obviously.
So the contracts can be applied really anywhere in the world, and if there's something that needs to be applied specifically to where you are, then obviously you can modify the contract template. But they cover the majority of cases for advertising, and it really covers things like when payments due, the fact that you just need to get approval from advertisers when your magazine's live. That's a standard thing. You just send them a copy of your advert, just an email copy, saying to them this is how it's going to look on the page, and that they send you an email back saying yes, I approve. So it covers really anywhere you are in the world. So if you have advertisers anywhere in the world, then you'll be fine to use that contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now Susie and I aren't lawyers. So, it'll be a very general sort of contract as I understand it, and you may want to take it to a Canadian lawyer, but I can tell you that if you have a template you're taking to a lawyer as opposed to, dear lawyer, will you write up a contract for me, it's going to save you thousands of dollars. But also, I don't think we could expect Susie to get it vetted for every single country. So, yeah, and, being a Canadian, I know that it's so close to the U.S. anyway that in terms of legalities, that it's probably going to be a real simple process for you to just change a few things in there. So I have another question here that says, exactly how do you publicize your magazine when you start?
Well, you upload it to iTunes, and there are all sorts of marketing techniques that we go through in detail inside the training system. So it's not only the creative, it's the how do you do it, and then the marketing. All of that is covered in detail inside the system. One example I'll just share so people can get a taste is I posted that I've got this new magazine up on my personal Facebook. I emailed some of my friends, hey, take a look at this. Would you put this on your wall? I mean, Facebook is a great way, and a free way to get that out there, to announce it. And I put it on my fan page, and it just created a viral effect. And you find the passionate people. You can certainly, one other tip I'll share is you can look at some blogs that are related to your category, and they're always looking for new content.
So, I really love that you gave an example right up front, Mitch, that your particular magazine in the first 11 weeks, I wrote this down, had 23,000 downloads.
Correct.
So my guess is, and you can confirm this, that the strategies that you use to get those downloads are in this program. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I only used a couple. I was very fortunate that I had a viral effect because of the category, and I was able to, like I said, I gave two of the strategies that I used, and I didn't even use all of them because it had such a success. There's a whole list of different marketing techniques. The ones that I used, I just shared. I only used two. I put it on my Facebook fan page. Well, first I uploaded it, or Susie uploaded it for me on iTunes. I followed her system. Then I used simple techniques of it, went out to a couple related blogs where they're looking for content, animal blogs, and I put it on my Facebook and my Facebook fan page. And kaboom, I have over 25,000, including what's on Google Play, as of today.
So that's 25,000, including Google Play, like between iTunes.
Yeah, the 23,000 was just iTunes. Google Play is a smaller number, and it's over 25,000. I mean, it's a little over 3,000 are on Google Play.
Cool.
It's not the same library volume that iTunes has, but it's certainly there and it's growing.
Yeah, okay, good. So it's even higher than the 23,000 that I wrote down.
Yeah.
These numbers are impressive, and they certainly have gotten my attention. So here's another question that I have. Affiliates, what would be their commission? And so I'm going to assume here that the question is, what would be the commission that I would get from selling other people's products using affiliate links? And whoever asked that question, if I'm not accurate on what you meant by that, then just go ahead and type in the Q&A box.
Yeah, the answer to that is I'm not going to answer. Well, a lawyer would say, well, it depends. And the answer I'm going to say as a marketer, it depends. If you go through ClickBank, they have varying commission payouts on affiliates. And if you negotiate directly with certain affiliates, they can be as high as 100% because they're looking at back-end income. You can negotiate these elements. And as low as, I've seen as low as, depending on the product, if it's a hard cost like food, pet food, the commission is 12%, roughly, because they have to drop ship it. So it depends on the category. But what's beautiful about affiliate deals, in the digital publication is, who says you're limited? You can have all sorts of sponsors that you list on your back page and a resource section where people are there and they click on what they want. You organize it accordingly, and we detail this, ways of monetizing that are way beyond, the content we can cover in an hour-long webinar. So, the possibilities are great. I mean, I'm going to make some really big change off this magazine when I add all these elements in. I mean, like I said, more affiliates, more products, all these downloads, more eyes there. It's money, and I like extra income, and you would too.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right that the affiliate commission completely varies, and that's the great thing, because you can choose the affiliates that give you the rewards that you're looking for. But it just occurred to me, Mitch, that one of the things you can do in a magazine that's really difficult to do any other way is to have these long with affiliate links and then advertising pieces that kind of look like articles. You see them in newspapers today.
Advertorials, yeah.
Advertorials, and basically you can write your own or reviews, and put them right in your magazine. So the good news is that you don't even have to really have an interaction per se with the advertising. You're just part of their affiliate program. There's restrictions, obviously.
Yeah, and I have to ask the people that are on the call that are seeing this, can you see how this is a financial solution for you? Mm-hmm. I mean, as a primary or secondary income source, and at the same time creating that celebrity status for you, the toll booth. That's why I did it. I mean, it's a passion and a financial solution. It's a nice extra income.
We have time for just a couple more questions, Mitch.
Sure.
So I really want to encourage people, if you're still on the webcast, for goodness sake, get your questions in, okay? We want to make sure that they all get answered. And here's a question here. Can I get follow-up questions answered during my publishing my first issue? So I think the question is it just the first issue that I get help with, or is it, additional issues? How does that work?
It is all issues. We have a forum, a member forum, and we also have a support desk with a ticket system. We'll answer. We're here for you. We want us to see you successful because we want to earn the right of your testimonial.
So here's another question. It says, it's kind of funny. Perhaps I should be, but I'm not familiar with keyword research. Is that something you will help me with?
Completely. And it's something that took me a while to understand until somebody explained it to me well. I mean, I think you and I had a discussion about this, and it is the building blocks of any web business, anything you're doing digitally today. And offline, online is like, are people paying money for what they're searching for? And this is part of when you apply, you fill out the application. We're going to walk you through that process right over the phone. We're going to share with you, this is the direction that makes sense because people are paying money or not. Mm-hmm. And we'll guide people to that process. So do you have to know it backward and forward? No, but we're going to give you enough education to understand it in our call.
So, there's been a lot of, you've been just sort of a great wealth of information, Mitch, because you've actually taken this system and applied it. So I just, really love that you've been sharing all that information and all that expertise. So, Susie, I know you're still on the line, and if you could say one thing to people who are listening today that would really help them decide whether or not this is for them. I mean, I've kind of put you on the spot here, but oh well, you can handle it. What would be the one thing that you would want them to know?
I guess I would want them to know that this is a really easy system for them to use. It's something that we are there every step of the way to give them advice. So if they have any questions at any stage, whether it's for issue 1 or whether it's for issue 21, then they can ask those questions, and we're more than happy to help them succeed with all this stuff, because it's a really exciting new thing that many people aren't on. So if you can get on it now before everyone else tries and jumps on the bandwagon, then this is the time that you're going to be able to make the biggest success for your magazine and the biggest growth and the biggest chance to make the money that you want to make with it.
And you're on that wave. Remember the earlier visual, that you're on the right wave as opposed to taking pictures of it.
FISH, and it stood for First In, Still Here.
Ah, love it. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, well, I'm going to steal a couple of your phrases that you use because I think they're really cool. So I'll trade you one. You can have that one because it's really important to decide when you're on the wave, and you're not too early, and you're not going to get crashed by it by being too late. And I think for this particular market, now is the perfect time. It's kind of like the land grab. You need to stake out your niche, be the one who is the most popular by getting in there quickly, and then what happens is everyone else is trying to play catch up with you, and it is a difficult thing to do. So that's why that fish story is so important. First in, still here. And so, if you can find ways to figure out your niche, use the keyword tool, get it launched, get it done quickly, get it out there, get it monetized, man, I tell you, you'll be riding this wave for a long time.
Correct. I agree completely. I love that acronym. First in, still here, because you took the risk, you rode that wave. The fish was on the wave. It wasn't just floundering, taking pictures.
Yeah, and there's enough people doing this with really great results that it is no longer the bleeding edge. It's time to get on board.
The leading edge, yes.
It's now the leading edge as opposed to what we call the bleeding edge. So
the bleeding edge.
A bit of an echo. Okay, so this is really great. I really want to thank you for all of your fantastic sharing and information today. I think it's really great whenever someone comes in and says, listen, I'm going to show you some proof. I'm going to show you a new way to build your visibility, build your credibility, build your market, build your bank account, and I'm going to show you exactly how we did it and all the pieces. And then, I'm real clean about this. If you resonate with this information, this strategy looks like something that'll work for you, I want to make sure you have an opportunity to put it in place and do it quickly. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. You shouldn't reinvent the wheel. This is going to save you a lot of time, energy, money. Get it up, get it running, get it out there quickly so you can get onto the marketing and monetize it. So, Mitch and Susie, thank you so much for being here from all these different corners of the world that we've come together. I mean, echo aside, it's quite amazing we're actually doing this at all, and we are. And for everyone who has joined us on the call today, thank you so much for investing your time. Take the next step. Continue to explore this opportunity. Go to jvgenius.com/Kathy with a C. There's more information for you there, an application I believe for you to fill out. There's no money changing hands at this point. So what I want you to do is go ahead and do that and, really run this rabbit to ground. This is such an amazing strategy, which is why I really wanted Mitch to go into it much deeper than we've had an opportunity to do before. Thank you once again, and Mitch, I'm going to let you have the microphone for the last and final comment.
This is a golden opportunity. I'll just say in closing, it has been the fastest way I have grown a premium list of any media that I have had in my years of marketing. And it was on television, radio, done direct mail, spoken all over the world. It's the cutting edge. It's Microsoft stock in the 80s. Get in before your competition does and leaves you in the dust. And all you have to do is apply. There isn't any money today. There isn't any money tomorrow. It's when we discuss if this is something that you want to take action on. And, do take action and fill out the application. And then we'll determine where you're going to make your next decision. So if we want to play with it.